Today we're taking a look at a brand new set of wireless earbuds from a company that I've never actually gotten to take a look at before. These are the EarFun Air Pro 3s, and they are available on Amazon right now for the low price of $63.99. Regular price is $79.99, so these may or may not be on sale by the time you look at them. But at any rate, that does place them in a pretty nice place in terms of pricing. You do have aptX adaptive technology, 11 millimeter wool composite drivers. That's pretty interesting. 11 millimeters is relatively large. IPX5 waterproofing. Of course, these do have hybrid noise cancellation as well. Battery life looks to be pretty decent also. These have your sort of AirPod styling to them, the stems coming off this side, but as far as the picture goes, I think that they look pretty decent. So with all of that said, let's see if we can get the box opened up and take a look at them. So one of those boxes that no matter what you do, you just can't get to open. All right, we've made a little bit of space here. So it looks like we have some instructions in here, and also this thing, question mark? This is just to clean your earbuds or something? That's actually kind of interesting. We'll leave the instructions out so that I will know how to control them. Looks like we have a box full of ear tips, which is always good to have. I tend to be okay with the standard one, but of course having the extras is good, and a USB-A to C cable to charge the set of earbuds. So this is the charging case itself. It is relatively large. That is not an altogether tiny charging case. There appears to be sort of a scuff on it already that is not coming off. That's not great. And these are kind of scuffed up. These might have been dropped or something before they made it into the box. That's a bit of a bummer. Here are the buds themselves. They do look pretty much like they do in the picture, although there is one interesting thing here. So you've got this sort of blue color on the outside, but it's black everywhere else. It's sort of an interesting two-tone look. We have to, of course, take them out of here and get rid of this peel so that they will then begin charging. And if we set them in there, they should sort of grab magnetically and lock into place, and they're off and running. And then this looks like another peel there. Oh, that's interesting. There's sort of a gripping material up top. Also, you can now see that it is charging. Obviously, USB-C on the bottom there to charge the case. Let's go ahead and set all that stuff out of the way and see if we can get these things to pair. Pair new device, typically just being open like this is good enough, and that is the case with these. We are pairing, and we should be paired here momentarily. Looks like we've got the app all downloaded and set up. Let's jump in here. You can quickly change between your noise profiles, normal, ambient, and noise cancellation. There is a gain mode, which is conceivably just going to give you low latency. Looks like we do have an equalizer as well, which we'll be checking out how that sounds also. And the ability to customize controls. That is fantastic. Love seeing this on some of the cheaper sets of earbuds. Definitely going to dive in and customize that a bit as well. Let's jump into the settings. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot in there, but there is a firmware update which we will go ahead and download and install before we actually start testing the audio sound. Coming back to the controls here, just to kind of double down on that, you can really go in and customize this pretty much any way you want. You can see all the different options you can have for each different thing. So this is not, sometimes you get customized controls, but you're pretty limited in what you can do. This is not going to be that. And of course, you can do it per side as well. Really solid. So I just spent a couple of minutes testing out the noise cancellation and pass-through mode on these guys, and I have to say they're pretty decent. We've gotten to a place with these wireless earbuds that even the less expensive ones do a pretty good job of blocking out noise. I use a YouTube video of just a crowd of people talking played through my PC speakers to test this really quickly, and even compared to something like the Sony Link Buds S, they stood up fairly well. Now, against something more like white noise and air conditioner running in the background, the Sonys did do a little bit better, but these are definitely no slouches in terms of that active noise cancellation. Honestly, pass-through is a pretty similar story. In my book, these are going to be very, very similar. The way that I use them, turning it on if I'm checking out at a store or something like that, make sure no one's trying to talk to me. They're going to serve that purpose absolutely, as well as most of the other earbuds on the market. I would give the Cancellation and Pass-Through a thumbs up on these guys. As for the most important thing, the audio quality, these things made an impression very, very quickly because these are not trying to be sort of a flat set of studio-grade earbuds. These are definitely putting their own EarFun spin on it, and it's going to be something you're either going to like or you're not going to like. They lean pretty heavily into the bass. I'm comparing these to some of my favorite earbuds. Once again, the Sony Link Buds S, and by comparison to these, like I said, that bass is going to hit a lot harder. These are trying to be very fun, punchy, bass-filled, dynamic earbuds, and if that's what you're into, that's what they're going to sound like. I even went into the equalizer and kind of try to mess with things, and that bass is kind of hard to get rid of. You either have really strong bass, or it starts to kind of sound weird. If you get rid of some of the bass, what you're going to find is, or if you also increase kind of the high end, you boost the treble, because there is a treble boost preset, what you're going to find, at least in my instance, to my ears, is that the treble, the high ends are a little bit harsh. In songs with the high end kind of emphasized, it kind of does have a sort of hissy quality to it that does become a little bit harsh. It's not terrible. I do think overall they sound fairly decent, but again, it's going to be down to taste. Do you want that bass, heavy, punchy sound? If you do, you're probably going to like these things. What you are hearing now is audio recorded by the EarFun Air Pro 3. So if you're on a phone call with these, this is more or less what the person you're speaking to can expect to hear. Let me know what you think about how this sounds in the comments down below. So let's hit a couple of quick notes here on the back half of this review. These earbuds do not have in-ear detection, so when you pull them out of your ear, they're not going to pause on their own. You're going to either do that on your phone or by tapping the earbuds to pause them. Not a big deal for everybody, but might be a little bit annoying as well. These do not have wireless charging, which a lot of earbuds at this price point also do not have wireless charging, so that's not necessarily a big shocker. While we're talking about battery life, they do quote 7 hours of use on a single charge with ANC on, or 9 hours with ANC turned off, and that is more than enough for the average person. Battery life actually seems to be quite solid on these. Now, while the case is a little bit on the large side, it does feel quite decently well made. This does not feel like a cheap set of wireless earbuds. When you pick up the case, it does the job of feeling a bit more premium than it probably actually is. Although I do have one small gripe with them. The earbuds don't really like to go back home. They don't really like to go where they belong. This kept happening to me where I'd go to put, especially the right one for some reason, it just wouldn't quite sit correctly, and I'd have to pick it up and put it back in. Sometimes you can just kind of give it a jiggle, but that doesn't seem to work with these. You kind of have to be very deliberate how you put them back in. I think it's got something to do with the ear tips on them grabbing on their way in. Again, a small gripe. In terms of the controls, they're decent. Anytime I deal with these touch controls, they're always a little bit hit or miss for me, and these are pretty much on par with everyone else. My biggest complaint with them is that there just seems to be a delay with some things, and it may just be that I'm used to earbuds that react more quickly, and because of that, I'm hitting, nothing's happening, and I'm hitting again too quickly, and then I'm doubling up on actions or what have you. If I would just slow down, things would probably get better. I need to adapt a bit to these earbuds. Now, one good thing about them, talking about quickness, is that when you do things like play pause or changing your mode of noise cancellation or pass through, what have you, the voice that tells you that something has happened or the tone that tells you that something has happened is very quick. One thing I've run into with a lot of these cheaper earbuds is you hit the button to turn on ANC mode and you'll hear a voice that says ANC on, and you miss like a whole second and a half or whatever you're listening to. These are very, very quick. Usually it's like one word or something to get you into that mode, or the tone also very, very brief. So good job on that. I just wish things were sped up just a little bit. So what's the final conclusion here? If you're looking for a decent set of wireless earbuds with pretty solid active noise cancellation or pass-through mode, you like a punchy, bass-heavy sound, maybe you listen to music where that is advantageous, and you don't want to spend more than, say $64 plus tax, so that'd be about $71 or something like that. You don't want to spend a whole lot of money. I think you could do a whole lot worse than the EarFun Air Pro 3s. They're not the greatest wireless earbuds I've ever tested, but for the price, they are pretty darn rock solid. Guys, I'm going to drop a link in the description down below. As always, that is an affiliate link. If you choose to take this review and say, I want those earbuds, and buy it with that link, you're going to help support the channel by having done that. So thanks in advance for that. Big shout out and thanks, of course, to EarFun for sending these earbuds over. As usual, no money has changed hands for this review, and they are seeing this video at the exact same time as everyone else. Guys, I will see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.